You should only hang out with people that agree with you on everything. There's this rhetoric that's been going around for years that you should surround yourself with people that challenge you and people that hold you accountable. But in reality, you should be surrounding yourself with people that agree with you. Because if you're relying on external validation to encourage you, then you lack the fundamentals to succeed in the first place. You should be challenging yourself. You should be surrounding yourself with people that are doing so much better than you. It forces you to challenge yourself. You shouldn't be relying on people to challenge you. And the concept of yes men is generally frowned upon, but if you are genuinely in agreement with everyone in your environment, it makes life so much better. It's so much more fun to be around a bunch of people that agree with you as opposed to this whole concept of diversity and different opinions. Yes, we should have different opinions in different places. We don't need to have a bunch of different opinions at the dinner table. That's why nobody wants to go home for Thanksgiving. Imagine if your family agreed on everything. It would be nicer. That's how companies work. Companies exist because they are capable of having an overarching value system and to-do list that is agreed upon throughout the entire company, and that is how they succeed. It's not because everyone in each compartment is like, no, we should do this different, and that would be chaos and the company would fall apart. Everyone needs to be in agreement. Everyone needs to think the same way. And it's the reason why ants are so successful. If you think about success in terms of numeration, ants outnumber humans 1,000,000 to 1. So technically, they're more successful than us. And you ever see ants marching around? They're all in a straight line going to the prize, all on the same team. There's no singular ant just meandering off it. I mean, sometimes there is, but, that guy's fucked. That guy's fucked if he doesn't get back in line. He's going to what? He's going to wander off. He's going to... I mean, I guess you could... That ant would be fine by himself. There's a bunch of food in any direction, really. But he couldn't procreate by himself. He might find a little ant lady. Okay, I'm kind of disproving myself on this. But I'm speaking in general terms. Generally, it's better to find a group of people that agree with you. And if you can't do that, you can wander off in the forest by yourself. That is an option. That's my updated stance now. And it's kind of what I'm doing, really, because, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to become part of something and, like, part of this group or whatever. And I'm speaking in vague terms, but I have a thing in mind. And I've never felt like the join the table kind of guy. I'm more of a build my own table kind of guy. So I'm more of the singular ant in this metaphor. But if I had 100 ants, I could really get some shit done. And that makes me think about slavery. Slavery's bad, obviously. But imagine if you just had like 100 dudes that would just build you a house for free. Man, you could get a lot of shit done. Anyways, my point is, surround yourself with people that agree with you. The whole people challenging you thing and holding you accountable is more of an indication of your own weakness. You should be challenging yourself. You should be holding yourself accountable. You should surround yourself with people that hold themselves to a high standard, but you shouldn't have any place to hold other people to any standard. And we're all alone out here. We're all on our own path. You don't have time or energy to look out for someone else's life path and hold someone else accountable unless they're your kid or you're in a relationship with them. But the whole concept of challenging others is based on the notion that life isn't challenging enough itself. Life is challenging. You don't need to add on challenge. It's like when you're dating a chick and she's like, "Oh, you can't handle me," and it's like, yeah, why would I want to? I could handle you, crazy lady, but why would I want to do that? I could shove a cucumber up my ass. I could do that right now, but why? Why would I want to do that? Why would you want to take on unnecessary pain in life? And if you have an answer for that, then I guess put the cucumber up your ass. I'm not saying it's completely out of the question, but I'm saying I don't want to do it. And most of you probably don't. And that really goes for anything. There's a lot of things that people are just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. You have your boundaries and you have your priorities. And why would I work 40 hours a week? To pay the rent. Pretty good reason. If you're not getting paid, then why would you do that? It's all about incentives. Forgot what was my main point though. Could you imagine if every time you came up with an idea, everyone was like, yes, that's a great idea. And then you just kept doing that. And then sure, you may be thinking like, well, if people do that like in the entertainment business, then you come out with a movie that sucks and everyone hates. But it's like, yeah, but you and your friends had fun making it and agreeing with each other. Fuck what all these strangers on the internet think. Is your goal to please a bunch of strangers on the internet? Or is it to please your immediate circle and agree with your team? Because that's where the magic happens. The real currency in life is brotherhood, It's the friends we make along the way. That's not an exaggeration, and it's not a cliche. I mean, it kind of is a cliche, but all cliches are true. That's why they become cliches. And cliches, honestly, contain some of the most wisdom out of all words per sentence. You can get the most meaning with the least amount of words using cliches. And none come to mind right now, and I don't want to pause to think about it. But there's also a lot of bullshit cliches, like shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. The closest star is like fucking 10 million light years away, and there's no atmosphere, and by the time you get there, you die of old age. And the star is made of burning fire, supposedly. So as soon as you land, you die. I don't like that cliche. Or that's more of an idiom than a cliche, I guess. I don't know. I said the word cliche so many times, I don't even know how to pronounce it or what it means anymore. My point is, life is more enjoyable when you're surrounded by people that agree with you. And I'm not saying to agree with people for the sake of agreeing with them. Genuinely find people that see the world as you do. And almost equally importantly, learn to articulate your points. Because there's a lot of arguments that take place between people that agree with each other, but they're just using the wording wrong. They're getting hung up on a way of saying it or a word choice when it's not the meaning of the sentence itself. Like, the truth is a sphere, and you can't see the whole thing at once. No matter how much you look at a baseball, you can only see that one side of it, So if two people are looking at the same sphere, they're going to see slightly different sides of it because it's coming from two different points. And yes, you could both be seeing the truth, but it's different parts of the truth. So it seems like you're not seeing the same truth, but you are. You're just focusing on different aspects of it. Like, if me and you were looking at a blue and white painting, half of it's blue, half of it's white. I'm standing on this side, you're standing on this side. I'm like, this is white. You're like, no, this is blue. And I'm like, no, this is white. And the truth is, it's white here and it's blue there. But I think language is just not efficient. And there is a certain intention behind understanding. Like, I think a lot of people choose not to understand things just for the sake of being a contrarian, which I have been guilty of at times before. Sometimes I'm like, fuck this guy, I'm going to disagree with him. We all do it. It's sometimes it's fun, but you got to be aware that that's what's happening. Because some people will they don't even realize they're just being the worst person. And then they just live their whole lives like that. And I think if people were better at articulating their sentences, they would be able to communicate their points to a level where it would resolve conflicts before they started. Which is a slippery slope, because you could also over-explain yourself into an argument where you give too much information and now things are being talked about that are irrelevant. So, I don't know, man. Words. This all just goes back to the Hermetic principles and the Emerald Tablets of Thoth about how like your word choice can create your reality and all that stuff. And it's true because just on such a micro level, if you just speak things in a more certain or hopeful manner, or if you call your wife a fat bitch all the time, it's probably gonna make things worse. If you call yourself God, maybe you'll start to feel like it. I don't know. I'm not trying to get into the whole manifestation thing, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's connected because if you're with people that are agreeing with you, then they're helping manifest your vision as well, and then you're all manifesting together, and that's how a business succeeds. Is a bunch of people. There's never been anything more powerful on the planet than a group of like-minded men all trying to accomplish the same goal. That is the most powerful thing on the planet that is the Earth has ever seen. I mean, sure, you could say the atom bomb, but that was a result of a group of like-minded men thinking together, and they're also responsible for the worst things. Yeah, but the most powerful, either way, the most influential. It's all been a result of a bunch of people or a small group of people that agree. So, if you're watching this, I need you to fucking agree with me and join the team. Stay tuned. The team's going to develop. But I think there's really only one truth. And if we peel back the layers, we can all agree on it. And there's a lot of little things like in politics, I mean, we see so many people disagreeing on racial issues or gender issues or things that the majority of people agree, like being trans is weird. Diversity kind of is a bad idea. Sure, there's a lot of people that would freak out at me saying that, but they're a small minority. They just get a lot of stage time. They just get the spotlight on them. And the people and most of the people who believe against what we believe, if we really sat them down and talked to them in a friendly setting, they would change their mind because maybe I'm being hopeful. Maybe there's no hope for these people and they're just lost. And I mean, I'm not saying everyone who supports trans people is lost and doomed. I just think it's weird and fucked up in the same way I think fake tits is fucked up. But also I still am down, So it's not like a big deal. I'm just using it as an example of there's a lot of issues that seem polarizing the country right now, but if you really boil it down and get everyone to talk to each other, everyone's going to come together on pretty similar conclusions. We all like food. We all like friendship. We're all scared of getting attacked by a large animal. Like, there's basic fundamental shit that just all humans can kind of agree on. And then the things that branch out from that are more societal constructs. And if you can't get them to agree with it, you can at least get them to agree that it is a made up concept. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I give people too much grace. Maybe some people are just completely fucked and unhelpable. But the point is, I don't want those people in my circle. I want my circle to agree with me. Those people can exist out there. And me and my circle can succeed better than them. We can outcompete that group. And competition is necessary because there's a finite amount of resources. And there's I want to say there's not enough room on the planet, but I mean, there's a lot of room, but it's like shitty land, you know, like you want to go make a city in the desert. I mean, hey, the Saudis did it and they're billionaires and they're doing pretty good. Maybe there's so many sides to every angle, you know. There's so many angles into the sphere of truth. And I have been lucky enough to be chosen to see from all of them. So I could argue the pro-trans angle. I could argue the pro-gay angle. And maybe I'll switch over one day. But I don't think so. It's not, that doesn't interest me. What interests me is getting as many people as possible united. Obviously with my beliefs. I want everyone to agree with me. Sure, if everyone agreed with someone else, you know, good for you guys. But like, fuck that. This is my channel. So like, I want you to agree with me, obviously. But, and agreeing with me doesn't mean that you're saying I'm not crazy, by the way. You can still think I'm crazy and agree with me. And you may be thinking, agree with what? You haven't made any points in this video besides slavery would be a financially beneficial ordeal, and I don't know. And you're right if you thought that. And the answer to that is I make a lot of points in other videos. I'm getting meta right now. No, I made the point about the, you know, yes men thing. And see, because when people get too comfortable with you, they start criticizing you. And it starts as a joke. And then it gets more like, I'm trying to help you. And then it gets more like, hey, why don't you fuck off? How about that? And negativity is more powerful than positivity. Sorry. I'd love to sit here and be like, love wins. But look at all of human history. And they've shown this, that removing negativity is more positive than adding positivity. Removing cancer is more powerful than adding water and electrolytes. Removing a toxic employee is 5 times more beneficial than firing a toxic employee is like 5 times more beneficial than hiring more good employees. They did some study on this. And like weight loss, it's not about, and physical health, it's not about adding more broccoli. It's about cutting out and having less donuts and ice cream, you know? It's about what you don't do. So the more you can cut out those negative people from your circle, the more positive effect it'll have. Even if you're just alone with your thoughts and your thoughts are being like, yes, these thoughts are good, then like kind of same thing as having a bunch of yes men. They just happen to be in your head. So you're a little bit schizophrenic. Oh, well, don't talk to yourself in public. If you're going to talk to yourself, use a camera and post it on YouTube. I don't know what to tell you, but I do know what to tell you. I have all the answers. And when I say cutting out toxic people, I don't mean like, hey, you're toxic, like having a sit down with them. You just kind of don't initiate anything. You don't have to like cut them out of your life. It's just, you stop watering a plant, it'll die. You don't have to go over with scissors and cut it up. You can just ignore it and you remove your attention from it. And your attention is the most valuable thing you have, because whatever you pay attention to is what matters. If you're paying attention to negativity, then you're going to feel negative. It's really simple. It's really simple, and it gets overcomplicated because you're not in the zone. If you're in the zone, you can think like that. But when you're in the void, it's like you've temporarily given up power. Because the void is the afterlife. The void is the call to death. The void is knowing that you will be sucked out of this body and back into the eternal ether of infinite love, and this body doesn't matter that much. And that sounds like a depressing statement, and clinically it is, and it's potentially suicidal. But at face value, you're essentially losing the importance for your body. And that's why you're giving up the power over the body you do have. Because people say the mind is stronger than the body. I think the body is stronger than the mind. I think the goal is to make your body stronger than your mind, and just have it get up and do the things you need it to. And sure, you could say the mind controls the body, but I'll tell you this much. Sometimes when I go to MMA, I walk in there and I'm like, I am not feeling it. I'm going to die. I'm not going to last. And my body just picks up and does its thing. Well, it feels like my mind is just sitting this one out. So I think having your body be the leader is the way to get through this world. It's not willpowering. That takes a lot of mental energy. And mental energy is more exhausting than physical energy sometimes. Because the mental fortitude it takes to be like, I'm going to force myself to get out of bed even though I don't want to. And I'm going to make this cup of coffee, and I'm going to get dressed and drive to work. And even though I don't want to do it, I'm going to force myself to. It's like, no, wouldn't it just be easier if your body was just conditioned to, boom, I wake up, I'm not even thinking about it. I go in the shower now. I put on clothes now. I get in the car now. I drive to where I need to go now. It's like there's no struggle there because you're in the zone, because you have done the right things with your body and your energetic creative power. And step one is vibrate. That's movement. That's get some blood flowing. Step two is medicate. Let's get some healthy food in you. I think meat and fruit is the greatest gift from God to earth by far. Meat and fruit is the best thing in existence. You guys have to try it. Chicken thighs with pears, ahi tuna with watermelon, steak with strawberries, ground beef with bananas. Yeah, it sounds crazy. But what's so crazy about combining meat and fruit? They're two natural, healthy things. They're both sold at the same place, 20 feet away from each other. What's so crazy about putting them together? Sweet and savory. It blows people's minds. And everyone I have had try it, except for this one bitch, has loved it. And been like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I've had multiple people say it changed their life. Literally, you're inviting a new kind of nutrition. The first time you taste ground beef and bananas, you're like, what the fuck? It's what I imagine it feels like to enjoy a finger up your ass. You're like, this is weird, but it's so slippery, and it just feels incredible. And I can't emphasize enough how extraordinary this is and how you have to incorporate it into your life. And if you have food allergies, that sucks. God doesn't love you. But nobody's allergic to meat. And if you are, you ain't watching this. Unless Vegan Dolls, one of my top commenters, is actually a vegan and it's not a joke. Then skip the meat, I guess. And then just have fruit, which is not a novel concept. But it's so crazy because fruit is the most godlike substance on earth. It's art. It's beautiful. It's math. It's geometry. You look at a raspberry, you see how it's sectioned all Fibonacci-like. It's food. It's dessert. It's all these things. It's hydration. It's nutrition. It's vitamins. It's minerals. It's deliciousness, and it is godly. And you can just pick it and you can eat it. There's no societal influence. There's no cultural marketing telling you to eat berries. If you're alone, naked in the woods 1,000 years ago, and you've never interacted with humans, and you just happen to be alive at age 18 or whatever, just so you're adult and you can make decisions. And you see a berry growing wild, you're going to know to eat that berry. It just, something clicks in the human mind, and you're like, that fruit is supposed to be here. Bright, colorful, juicy, So, and then when you pick it and you eat it, the tree keeps growing. It keeps making more fruit. Versus vegetables, where if you want to eat a vegetable, you got to kill the whole plant. That lineage is done. So that's why I'm fruit over vegetables. And I've heard that they release carcinogens when they die. I haven't done too much research onto that. All I know is fruit is fucking delicious and vegetables are okay. I don't hate vegetables by any means, but they do get kind of old after a while. You're like, all right, I get it. Asparagus, cool. But mango, avocado, and chicken in a bowl, that's not going to get old. That's crazy, man. It's crazy good. It's crazy good. And you got to try it because you haven't lived yet. I'm all about experiences. I've been to 28 countries. I've done all kinds of crazy shit. And meat and fruit in the same bite is an experience, a human experience you need to try. And I know I sound like I'm freaking out about this, and it's like, dude, it's just meat and fruit, and also that's fucking weird. No, dude, just try it. You have meat, you have fruit, just put them together. Not any, I don't think they all work, but the ones I listed are approved. And I don't think I have I think I have a rather refined palate. I cook a lot. Because I like not eating poison. And everyone who comes to my house has expressed their gratitude and how they were impressed by my cooking. And it's real simple. I just get good cuts of meat and ripe fruit. Put them together. Step 3 is create. Make a song, paint something, write something, scream at your iPhone for 30 minutes. Step 4 is explore. Go out into the world. Just go anywhere. See what's going on. And then meet some people, pollinate, trade ideas. Think about this shit. Talk about this kind of shit. Spread the truth. Spread the truth that we all agree on. We all agree on so much. We're all humans going through basically the same shit. For like 1 million years. All of humanity has been pretty much the same, which is kind of pathetic and embarrassing if you think about it, that we're all just, man, I should have had the camera angle like this the whole time. Well, here we are now. Pollinate. Spread the truth. Spread the word of meat and fruit. Spread the word of agreeing with your team. Spread the word of slavery. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I'm annoyed that no one's gonna give a shit about this podcast when I'm actually trying to preach wisdom, but yet I can go and just say a bunch of crazy racist shit. Everyone's like, yeah, we love this guy. So it seems like my path now is I'm going to have to lure people into the truth with dark comedy, which is, hey, we all got our paths, right? What's up, Pablo? How you doing, buddy? All right, I'm about to end this, but you guys can stare at Pablo for a little longer. All right, buddy.